So the company says, okay, we want 50 million or 5, whatever number it was, of views. Online, phone, whatever. Somebody clicks on it, reads it, looks at it, shares it. That's great. That counts as one. You don't necessarily have to share it, but that also gets you some extra credit. So you got to get it, but you got to get it to be seen and open. As soon as it gets open, boom, there's a click. There is a $sign connected to it, so that's good. So you have to deliver, and you don't get paid until you deliver all those clicks. Because the way it used to work is somebody comes in, buys, I don't know, $100,000 worth of advertising, and then you start advertising whether or not anybody goes to the store or not. Well, you already spent the money. Maybe the ad's not good. Maybe the people don't want what you're selling. Maybe you got to drop the price, whatever, right? But in this case, you buy it, but you don't get paid until you get the clicks. So then they said, oh, angry women. So I looked it up. There are 300 million posts, hashtag female rage on TikTok. In fact, it's so popular in its own weird way that Taylor Swift has now trademarked the words female rage, the musical. I guess she's working on that. More women, 6% of women, I don't know where they got this from, 6% of women are angrier than men are. And when it comes to rage for women, the problem is they're told to behave a particular way. Society judges them on how they are responding to stress, and they are limited in how they can express it in a socially acceptable way. Plus, the internal pressure on the woman is the fact that she has to look pretty, she has to clean the house, she has to also do the job, she also has to raise the kids, she has to do all of that work, and at the same time, you know, be a partner and a lover and also look great and feel great and do this and do that in a male-dominated world where she's being judged continuously by her looks and being compared to other women, and just generally this foments this incredible rage that needs to find some place to go. So if you go online, the rage and the addiction and the dopamine and the cortisol all become addictive. And then you send out that story to another woman that is feeling the same way. And if not the same way, she wants to mirror your rage because women tend to socialize their emotions in larger groups, less isolation. That's why men tend to kill themselves more often than women because they're more isolated and they're not as likely to share. So this guy basically saying news intentionally puts stuff up that continues to, fan the flames of rage with females in their 40s and 50s.
Well, and if you're enraged, you're engaged, and engagement is
write that down.
That's what it's all about. So
yes.
you're gonna watch it, you're gonna comment on it, you're gonna share it. Like any of those methods of engagement, that's where the money comes in.
Right, because that's the thing that hits you with the dopamine
right.
and the cortisol, where you're like, anger and fear being the number one motivator for just about everything because it's a survival instinct, right? If you want to get somebody to do something, you have to make them afraid, and then all of a sudden they'll do something. If they're peaceful and complacent, or at least in a state of relaxation where you don't want for anything, well, that's not a customer. You have to make the person uncomfortable in some way in order to get them to find comfort somewhere. And by the way, you can find comfort with, 12 easy payments, or operators are standing by now. So you have to tell the person that what you have isn't good enough, and then they get them to get something else. And the same thing when it comes to news, you constantly have to be getting the person engaged with, right. Anger and resentment.
And they also provide, like if you look at any local television website, you'll see all the rage posts, so rage-inducing, big stories, there's danger, there's stuff like that. But then you'll see they're always separated. There'll be every once in a while, it's like the fluffiest story you've ever heard, like a puppy, jumps through a hoop or something like that. Because that gives you a different way to engage. And it works too, just not nearly as well.
By the way, who does the titles for the stuff that goes up on YouTube?
For our stuff?
Yeah.
That kind of depends.
Okay, no, say something. Because
Not ragey enough?
No, I was on a little bit of a tear the other day, and they put it in there, Curly goes berserk.
No, ballistic.
Ballistic, and it got did you write that?
I did write that one.
Okay.
Well, you did. That wasn't inaccurate. That wasn't
But that of all the stuff we put up, Curly goes ballistic. It gets 15,000 views.
Yeah.
Because you put that in there.
Right. Apparently, that was rage engagement.
I try to hold back. I feel the show has changed in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of that. The stories that just always end up in the same place.
Crime stories.
Yeah. What are you going to say about that?